I know, but you know, it's live TV. Sometimes it takes a little while.
Somehow I feel like we might be the subject of a massive blooper reel.
Yeah.
What are we really saying when we don't think that we're actually going out live over the air?
You know that happened just recently. I have to share that story with you.
Probably happens here all the
Hey, there we
time.
are. Hey, welcome to the Trailer Park Show, folks.
Okay, here we are, folks. Guest Adam Cahn, glad to be with us. We're going to talk some about what?
Everything.
Yeah,
a little bit of
everything.
today.
I did put out in the
It's a
email
cornucopia.
there.
It's a cornucopia of discussion today.
Yeah, what did I call it in my email?
You know, you don't. I don't know. You never send me anything.
I don't send you
You
my
don't,
little
you,
thing.
you don't bring me flowers. You don't sing me love songs. You know all that fun stuff.
I'm pretty bad here, ain't I?
No,
Well,
it's all
every
good.
Sunday night, I try to send out a flyer about the show. This Monday, June 17th, the Trailer Park Show will feature spirited discussions. That's what I hear. But Adam Cahn might be present, because we didn't know if you would have when I sent it out. Mike Dominguez might be present, but as you see, he's not here. Davina Fernandez, I believe he'll show up in about 10, 15 minutes. Because he is at that meeting concerning the pre-4th of July parade in the borough coming up on the 29th.
In the borough?
Well, in the neighborhood on
Oh.
East Austin. That's
I
what
thought you
they
called it a borough. I'm like,
Borough,
what?
yeah.
Donkey.
So he'll probably be there. Of course, Francisco Gabriel Nelly's always here.
Nelly.
Niley? How do you pronounce that?
It's pronounced Nila. It's like
Nila,
knee. It's like
okay.
the knee and then la. Or if you want to compare like the wafer. Just take out an L
Francisco
yourself.
Gabriel.
There you go.
Gabriel. You will be here, and of course, be first in media. That was excellent radio, internet broadcast we did live from Juneteenth, and we'll have lots of pictures to show that too. And President here, Block Talk, and of course me. So, spirited discussions, yeah. I don't know. We did what we could.
It was good. I got to tell you, for it being the first time that we were in at a Freedom's Day or Emancipation Day or at a celebration for Juneteenth, I think that was actually pretty good. I mean, just to be able to be there and say, by the way, guys, hello, you're welcome.
Yeah. We could have. It was good to be there.
Yeah, this is, from what I understand, is the first time that we've ever done anything of this nature.
I
for
believe
the,
it
for
was
the
the first
Republican
time
Party.
that the county party had actually had a presence there. There's been other individual candidates were there, and of course, Cargill was there. He was in the parade, and then he came up and visited us with us for quite some time. So
But
it was good stuff.
Yeah, and this is a great way to show that we're trying to reach out. It's a great outreach process, especially at the local level.
I believe we need the outreach. It's not that we have to change our message. I was hearing Russ today, he's right. We don't have to change our message to reach out to the Hispanic community about, most of them I know, they're not for amnesty. But the
Or
fact
for any
is, we're just
community.
not out there.
Right.
That we're,
Yeah, I mean, one thing, and this is something that every 4 years drives me insane in the kind of 6 to 8 months after the presidential election. Whichever party loses the presidential election, this happens every 4 years. It's happened obviously the last 2 times with the Republicans, but if you remember going back to 2000 and 2004, you had the same kind of articles being written then about the Democrats. And the media always loves to talk about, what does the doomed out party need to do to try to save itself for some point in the future? And, we don't really need to change too much. Now, there's a lot of also, with what's been going around with the College Republican Report and the RNC quote-unquote autopsy, where there's a lot of talk about outreach, but very rarely do people actually do anything related to outreach. So I thought it's really rare that people actually do anything. Well, as much as they talk about outreach, it's rare that they do anything on it. So I thought it was really cool that we were able to at least get out there, at least get our toe wet, and at least just show up and kind of figure out how these things are done. Because it's going to take a long-term commitment. And we're not going to change anything overnight, but just getting the process started is a good thing.
there he is, come on in here. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know about it. I never heard them do that to the Democrats too much. But I know to our party, it seems like they're telling us what we need to do all the time. But it is good to get out there and outreach. Just get in the community.
How you doing, Gavino?
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
We got an appointment in the morning.
Okay, we already have one.
Yeah,
Good.
we'll talk about that later too, I guess.
But it was good. I mean, I was glad that we were there, and I was glad that we were able to show
Gavino
some
was there too.
support. Yeah, Gavino was there with us talking about the fun stuff that's going to be going on for the 4th of July.
I didn't get any pictures of you there.
No, you didn't.
I took one on my telephone, but there's a party animals there. Huh?
There you go.
That's what I wrote about it on the Facebook page. Here's a party animals
Sexy
for you.
blonde in Texas.
Hottest
Oh, hottest blonde in Texas. That's right.
Hottest
My apologies. I
blonde
keep
in
on saying that
Texas,
wrong. I
huh?
don't know. Very nice.
Well, did the people pick up after I left? I was kind of.
Yeah, the people really started picking up about the time we left at 3:30.
Oh, okay.
There were crowds coming in around up there, but it was party time, I guess. I was lucky. I guess I made it as long as I did.
And this is gonna be me. This is gonna be me sounding kind of stereotypical, and this is gonna sound bad. And I apologize to everybody for saying this.
Go ahead, you can get away with it.
But wasn't it kind of funny that of all the fights that were out there, you know,
You
you're
too,
out there.
that
You're out there to
Yeah, why did they
celebrate.
come around our booth to start the fight?
I know you're out there to celebrate freedom
Yeah.
because of something that happened to great grand family members,
Yeah.
and to say, you know, hey, sorry about what's happening, but you know, now you're free. And how do you celebrate? You go out and have a fight. 2 girls were fighting. Oh, look, there's the back of my head. You know, I think oh, they missed it. I think I had
Oh, boy, look at that.
I think I had a bald spot that was showing
that.
that.
Next shot coming up me. Yeah. Come on, redneck.
We got some great photos there.
Hold on to that shot right there for a minute.
You know, another thing, and this is something that I
Keep it
found
there.
there talking to a couple folks in the crowd. I mean, just the certain aspects of basic, almost civic literacy that people don't know. One thing that just struck me being at the event is how few people knew that Lincoln was a Republican.
Yeah.
Lincoln was the first Republican president ever. Lincoln was basically one of the founders of the Republican Party. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
if you're going to get technical on me, some of you historical Pharisees, I guess technically Lincoln came in 1855 or 56, and the party was technically founded in 1854. But he was there almost at the beginning, and
Think he was
people
the
just
first-
don't know that.
First Republican president, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was the first Republican. He was the second Republican presidential candidate ever. The Republican Party had a candidate in 1856, John C. Fremont, I believe, former
Boy.
governor of California.
You
But
don't know this shit, huh?
but yeah, Lincoln was the candidate. Was the second Republican presidential candidate ever in 1860.
10-4. Well, that last picture you had on there, Bruce Elfont, a hardcore Democrat player, came to visit with us. I thought that was nice. There he is. He is the Travis County tax collector, assessor.
Mm.
And he's been around a long, long time. On the other side of the aisle, I don't think we've ever agreed on anything politically. But he did make a lot of good points, I thought, about.
Yeah. And I wasn't going to try to get into an argument with him, although I could have towards the end.
I know. I bit my tongue, too.
And I'm like, okay, I got to be nice to the guy. You know, it's not because I'm not trying to be controversial.
He was
You
our
know,
guest.
it was a guest, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, with us being there for the first time, that we don't create any waves just yet.
But don't get the bouncers over too fast.
Exactly. But
Well,
it was one of those
I
things where
thought
I'm
y'all were
like,
gonna have like a banner or something.
well, there was
showing-
some, we did, but there was some
I
slight
mean, the
technical
way I
issues.
saw it was them, but a white boy and a Mexican up there on the top of the hill, just
Hey,
blowing up
we were
some
being
steam.
Yeah,
elitists.
Sid was
That's what it
edgy.
was. We were being elitists
right.
because we were at the Ivory Tower.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I call it that, but we were at the top. There's Cargill. Hold on there, go slower. We were at the. It was a nice spot. And
Yeah, if
we
you-
had a sign coming, but the man who was bringing the sign forgot the sign.
Well, he had some car issues, and so there was
We
some,
had some car problems,
and so some of the stuff that we were looking at didn't come in, and those things are going to happen. It's kind of it's one of those
snafu.
unfortunate natures. Look, there's a bald spot right there on the right side of my head. So I think I need to go see a hair doctor, take care of those plugs.
There I am again with my beautiful
some Rogaine.
sister-in-law.
You should see Joe Biden's guy.
That's a,
Well, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled
oh yeah, let's hear it. Go ahead, let's hear your take on it.
that it was unconstitutional. Is that the correct term?
Yeah.
Of the states asking for additional information to show proof that they are U.S. citizens.
Correct. Right.
Yeah. So I guess LULAC, as an official LULAC position, likes this, or
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because it's seen as an obstacle in voter registration.
Okay. Can I ask?
So-
Okay. Now seriously.
Go ahead.
in all seriousness-
Put up with this.
But you can register.
Yeah.
But and you know as well as I do, at the end of the day, when you go to that poll, it's going to pop up. You have to show ID or something because when you registered, you did not provide that information.
And I've got a dispute on that part.
So-
And I've got a dispute on that part because
You understand what he's saying?
Yes,
You
yeah.
can register as John Doe, but when you come to the poll, you actually have to have something to prove you're John Doe.
here's where I'm going to say I have not seen that as a person who's voted not only here in Travis County but also in El Paso County. I've seen where we've had people in early voting. They go in, they show the little voter registration card, and they say, and it was this one woman that was there. She passed the card and she says, "I'm here to vote." And they said, "Okay, Mrs. Whatever, fulana que tal." Okay, here you go. And that was it. They didn't ask for any identification. They didn't ask to show proof that she
Well,
was
because
fulana
you're
que
not
tal.
supposed to.
Okay.
The rules and regulations of today do not require you
Correct.
to ask for an ID if you have
Your
a
voter
voter
If you have a
registration,
voter registration
card.
card. And that's where the problem lies.
Well,
Okay, I see
And
what
for
you're
me,
saying.
that's where the problem lies because,
well,
and this is, I guess this would be the
But
point
it's
counterpoint. But I guess the point is,
irrelevant problem because it doesn't apply.
but it should. The
Well,
problem, the
but
thing
that's
is,
a different
I
story.
think we should adapt Mexico's voting laws.
That's a different story. Now you would
That's what I
like
think.
for it to change
There's
to
Cargill,
where,
Go ahead.
you want what
we
you
should.
believe.
yeah.
But today,
today
that's
it doesn't.
the way it
and,
is.
and that's where the problem lies. Because I'll put it to this way: I can go in and have my daughter say, "I am Jane Doe," and I'm swearing that I'm Jane Doe. File a piece of
But-
paper she's 17. She can go in there right now and say, "I'm 18. I don't have my ID, but I want to register to vote, and I'm such and such person."
And I'll register
And they're
her.
going to register her, and she's okay.
And
Look at what happened last year with Attorney General Eric Holder's ballot.
people had to move.
Last year, James O'Keefe of ProjectVeritas.com went in and went in with a hidden camera during the DC presidential primary and said his name was Eric Holder and asked to receive to vote. He said his name was Eric Holder. And the lady at the polling place, now I don't know how you miss the name of the United States Attorney General, but she actually
didn't
was
know.
in the process of giving O'Keefe Eric Holder's ballot before Eric O'Keefe backed off before he actually broke any laws. He didn't take the ballot, but he demonstrated that he was able to get it. And stuff like that, the potential for stuff like that happens all the time. That's just the most blatant example of it. And this notion that you need an ID to buy beer. You need an ID to get on a plane. Heck, in some states you need an ID to get into an R-rated movie, but you don't need an ID to prove that you are who you say you are when you go in to vote?
well, when you go vote, it's not an issue of demonstrating who you are. It's an issue of demonstrating you have a voter registration card.
So, based on that topic, I can get Adam's voter registration card, and I can be the hottest man
Go for
in
it.
Texas, and I can vote on his behalf.
Right, but you'll be violating the
I'd be
law.
violating the law,
That's
but that's okay because I can just do that without any problem. And the Supreme Court is saying because I'm swearing that I am Adam, that it's okay. And he can turn around and say, "Yeah, I did vote for that person," and it's okay. But that's where the problem lies because there's no safe checks with what is happening. I'll give you a good example because I had to think. I was listening to about this today, and I had to think about it a little bit more so I can have a legitimate discussion on this. If you're gonna, this is a federal. They're saying that this is a federal decision,
Right,
and this is
right.
a federal mandate,
Right.
if you will. So, if we were to go along the same lines, why is it that if we can do this, why can't we just have a person go ahead and say, I want my Social Security benefits because I'm disabled and I'm Marco Polo. Okay, and Marco
Not to
Polo says I'm a
distract
U.S.
you here,
citizen, and they're saying because I don't have my ID, and they're done, because they're Marco Polo and they have a disability that they can receive benefits.
But again, that's not. Again, this is they're only asking you have a voter registration card to vote.
Right.
And that's it.
Right. So
They're
that
not
means you
talking
can have an
about.
illegal alien.
They're not talking about
You can have a
receiving
foreign national.
services or food stamps
It
or
goes along the same lines.
medical
that the federal
assistance
government,
or anything like that.
It goes along the same lines that if
Now-
the federal government says you need to have this stuff, but when it comes to having, because all this stuff is privileges.
There's our voter star voter
There you go.
registration. She can do your paper. Or you want to
Because
answer any of these
let's say
questions? That's it.
Let's say you have one and you forgot it,
All
right?
You forgot
You're,
your
you're
voter
still
ID
gonna.
card,
They're still gonna allow you to vote.
even without ID.
What is
Yeah, we work the polls, so
what
we
is
know,
the
yeah.
what's that voting called? I mean, look at me, it's just slipping my mind.
Provisional ballot.
Provisional ballot.
Provisional ballot. Yeah.
Provisional ballot. Why? Because the philosophy of our country is to vote. Now, if someone goes to
But we
vote
think it's
and
being
abuses and
bastardized.
misuses that, that's a totally different story.
And that can be the game changer in an election.
Well, we
That's
make
the
it so
problem.
easy
So-
to abuse it, though.
Man, if the philosophy of our country is everyone should vote, why can't 15-year-olds vote?
Because we have an age limit that begins at a certain. We as a society agreed that this is the age limit that people supposedly are competent and should know. I mean, I know 18-year-olds 50-years-olds that don't even know where they're coming or going, much less be able to vote.
And we
Gee,
had a,
thanks.
and in regards to the society saying we have this rule, a portion that is in their own right sovereign, as a state, say, because we are a society, we should be able to enact further rules to make sure that we are following the guidelines of the national level, and for the national level to say, and for the national level say, sorry, can't help you.
But
you're
what's the
screwed."
solution to all that? Organize.
It's right here. You know what it is?
Organize.
You know what? It's right here. It's
Get
right here.
people
Me being able
together,
to go ahead and say,
petition your
"Hi,
government."
I'm Francisco Nila. I came to vote."
And Francisco
Oh, yeah,
Villa
but-
comes up on a voting computer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have to agree with
And
him.
I'm not arguing with you that's something you should have. What I'm telling you is that right now it's not required, and right now the way it has been operating,
And right
it's
now,
not
and it's not going
required.
to change anymore.
Huh? It's not required.
Actually, the
unless
Texas
you don't
legislature
have your voter.
Yeah, but it got hung up in the.
Yeah.
No, I like Mexico's voting. You have to have a little card, or you don't vote. Period.
Yeah. I
and-
mean,
yeah.
It's a picture ID card.
the only issue here was that they wanted to charge people for that.
No,
But-
I think they made provisions. At least here in
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah, but it
Yeah,
was
and
like
here
you
in
had
Texas-
to be way, way down in the bottom of the totem pole. In
What
Mexico,
do you mean? What do you mean way
Mexico,
down at the bottom of the totem pole?
economic-wise,
Okay.
in Mexico, listen to me. In Mexico,
Yeah, this is.
in
I
a
like.
third world country, supposedly, they have vans. They have mobile vans that
go to
drive
the
into
community.
the neighborhood, and people walk to those places with their credentials and get a voter registration card, with a picture ID and
thumbprint.
thumbprint,
So now, how
Free.
is
Free.
having a driver's license?
free.
Yeah. But how?
Now, why can't we do that
here
here?
in
I
Texas?
have
you
no
can
problem
use it.
with
You're
that.
able to use a driver's license.
I have no problem with a
Yeah.
voter registration card.
But in Texas,
if it's
you were
made
able to-
available and accessible free.
In Texas, you were able to use your driver's license card to go ahead,
Well,
or your
then
driver's
that's
license to go ahead and
fine.
do that.
That's
To go ahead
fine.
and
Either
vote,
or.
or your state issue ID.
Either or,
And
yeah.
if someone was not financially able to help out, they would say, okay, let's go
What
ahead and
if
do
you
this
don't
part.
drive?
Yeah.
You have your ID. There's a
can
state
get-
ID.
You can get picture ID just
You
like
can
a
get- you can
driver's
get a
license,
state
but
picture
it-
ID
Right,
saying I
but
am.
we're talking about voting.
Yeah.
Let's
there was
get
a
a voter
provision. There was
registration
there
card.
was an app.
Picture ID.
Hold on here.
free.
No, what we're talking about is illegals, people who are in the country illegally voting.
Mm-hmm.
How
What
do we
makes you
stop
think
that?
Yeah. How are you gonna stop someone from Iran? Well, let's go ahead and do this.
Are these
Let's
people
go ahead and
voting
say
four
it this way.
times?
Let me go ahead and be politically correct. How are you gonna get someone from Kenya to go ahead and not vote for someone?
Yeah, the big Gino.
You're damn right. You're
Well,
damn right, because if I put Mexico there, he's
Again,
gonna get mad
our
at me.
process is silent on that. You given a provisional ballot.
Okay. And,
So
and what
we're
do they
not-
do? And the provisional ballot.
As
what is that gonna
election
do for us?
judges, we're not out there to keep people from voting. That's
Okay.
not our goal.
How,
that's not
how
our
is the
objective.
provisional ballot?
That's true. When we're working the polls, we're supposed to just,
Right. But if I go to you, or if we have some person off the boat
yeah.
come to you and say, I want to go ahead and register to vote. I don't have my ID with me, but I want to be able to register for the upcoming election. What are you going to tell them? Okay, here you go. Here's a piece of paper. You're
Fill
good.
out the-
Take
Provided,
it- you can
provided,
take it home, or
provided
you can
that
fill
you're
it
that
out
you're authorized to register people in the city or the county that you're in. Not like the one guy from Oregon.
I'm afraid, there are lots of instances of where it's just been badly abused.
Yeah, Adam had a perfect example today.
Yeah, actually,
Like I said, I have no quarrels with that, but let's make it available and accessible. Let's make it available free.
It has been.
Why can Mexico make it available free to their
The
people
thing
and
is
they're
that
the
it
poorest
has been.
country?
It is.
Where is it?
Well, it got passed up on the laws.
Where is
There
it?
was-
That's true.
On the state level-
My party did pass where you could, if you fit that low criteria,
Right,
it
and
was free.
disabled veterans and all that other
You
stuff.
could go get your
you can
picture
get it for
ID,
free.
state approved.
So where's the harm in that one? The only thing that's going to
They
cost
even
them,
carry you to the damn place to do it.
yeah, and the
Well-
only thing that may cost them is a birth certificate. Okay,
There's more parade
and you
pictures.
need to have the birth certificate in order to qualify for state assistance, especially if you're low income, which is a big plus for them. Because if you want to go ahead and get Medicaid, you want to get housing or whatever the case may be, what do you have to show? Proof of
I
citizenship.
guess it does tie in because we did want to, we were trying to register people to vote out there. That was part of the outreach we were doing at the parade. And there was a lot of good parade pictures. If you weren't out there, you should have been out there with us because it was fun. It was good. If I can get out there with a rubber hose up my nose, I don't know why you can.
Exactly.
amen.
I mean,
And you
it's
have
my
to-
killer there.
That's the one we need to call, see if they'll come to ours.
Now, we're going to this meeting tomorrow, and I'm afraid we're going to be cutting, not adding.
Well, let me tell you, horses is not an issue in these parades.
Well, I like
because
telling
I've
you
seen
is
them
that
all
we're
over.
going to a meeting tomorrow, and they're going to want us to cut, not add.
Yeah. Well, the only thing we
The
can
whole
cut.
team is going to be there.
Yeah.
Police,
Oh,
fire,
yeah, yeah.
EMS.
I know what they're talking about now.
Down
Yeah.
what was it?
Yeah. We go before the court.
Yeah, we're going before the court, all right, and they didn't sound very happy.
That is. Well, they're
One
not.
Texas Center.
They don't sound happy because. I mean,
Yeah,
man,
they-
we've been dealing with this since February.
We're talking about the thing coming up on the 29th.
Parade permit.
Yeah, well, it's a great festival. The Jamaica Fest is great, but the parade seems to keep growing, and the powers that be in the city are starting to scratch their heads and say, "Hold on here now, you coming here all excited to have a parade with some people marching and some pedicabs, and now all of a sudden it's a 2-mile-long parade on a 1-mile-long route."
I don't see why they have a problem with that.
I don't either.
4th of July, American.
Yeah, veterans. One of the oldest veterans in Austin, World War II veterans, is a Hispanic guy who will be in the parade, and he's a Republican.
Is city council trying to discriminate against the minority people wanting to celebrate 4th of July?
Look at
That's
this
a big question.
parade
That's
we
got to be the
had.
big question of the day.
Well,
Are they
we'll find out
gonna
tomorrow. We're gonna
disenfranchise the Latino community from being able to say, thank you for being in America because we're in the
Think
land
that
of
might
free?
be it. Maybe
now-
you better come with us. What are you doing tomorrow?
I will be traveling,
Now this
helping out other people up
process
north.
that they have this year is different from last year.
That's why we had so much fun last year, and this year.
Last year it wasn't that big of an issue, but this year they've. I don't know. That's what happens when you have too many government people working. They earn their job.
with the big checks. and
Create
the,
something
We're
for them
gonna
to do.
spend.
Exactly.
I don't know how many people we're gonna go before tomorrow, but if you tabulate all their salary for those 2 hour, 1 hour, 2 hours,
She said the whole everybody be there.
you would
Police,
have paid for the
everything.
permit and more. You know.
Yeah, she said
That's
the
not
whole-
an argument against big government right there. I don't know what is.
Now, it's just a little neighborhood parade. I'm not sure I quite understand what the. Okay, maybe it's not so little. I tried to explain that I'm supposed to be doing the vendors, and now all of a sudden I'm into this part of it.
Well, like on this one, the same city government spent $64,000 in waive fees.
They waived 64. How much did the entire parade cost?
I don't know.
If they waived $64,000, that's a lot of police escort.
Well, they paid $13,000 in police escort and $6,000 in barricades.
Well, that's not 64,000.
Well, the rest were in waive fees.
God.
Like, ended up being 64,000.
Saying maybe the city likes the African American community more than the Hispanic community, maybe?
Well, more than their own. I mean, I thought they were all Americans. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. And this
Sauce.
is the parade for 4th of July.
Yeah, it's not
and
no.
honoring veterans.
So we're gonna say, so we can assume that city council is being discriminatory against the Latinos, or against the Hispanic community and the veterans.
No, in this case, I'm gonna have to side with Gavino. He's correct. We're Americans. This is a 4th of July parade. The entire city's welcome to come. It's focused on East Austin,
Right,
but it's open to the public.
right. But they're saying, but they're putting the brakes on some
Yeah,
stuff here.
whoa.
As a person who used to live in Austin, I can safely say that without getting in trouble, because that's me from the outside looking in. Now, if I'm wrong, then someone can prove me wrong. We can have the fine
Yep.
people from city council tell me that I'm wrong, but they're gonna have to show proof that they're not.
But your assessment is correct. And that's why I brought it to his attention. And he said, "Oh, we voted for this." I said, "You sure did."
We got one last chance to put it in front of city council.
June 27th.
And tomorrow. I
June
think they're
27th.
just-
2 days before the parade.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say. It's also getting real short. But I think part of what these people's problem is it keeps seeming to get bigger. I mean, I thought our
They should
parade
be
was
happy.
going to be.
They should be happy that a lot of people are
That's
celebrating
true.
4th of
You
July.
would think they would
You
be
would
really
think
happy.
they'd be up and screaming and
You know,
hollering and embracing
and
the
be able to give
glory
them these
and-
credits.
They'd be flying American flag high.
You know,
The World War II veteran guy still. We got to carry him
Can-
around, but you know.
well, let me ask you this part. There's going to be stuff being sold over there, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Food.
and those items are being taxed, correct? Okay.
It's for the Catholic
The-
Church on Microfest.
Then I'm going to go ahead and say this to our illustrious Mayor Leffingwell, who on TV and is recorded on TV saying, you know, these credits that we give to businesses is making Austin money. Now he hasn't shown it. He hasn't been able to say, hey, by the way, this is how we're making extra money, okay? But on the assumption that because they're giving credits to people that are going to be coming in and it's a rollover effect, kind of like what Mitt Romney was arguing during his presidential election. If we're going to give credits to nonprofit groups to celebrate life and to celebrate liberty and to be able to have these additional people come in to go ahead and celebrate, then you would assume that those individuals are going to spend something when it comes to buying a soda, when it comes to buying a turkey wing, or whatever the case may be. And I bring up the subject of the turkey wings because we know someone who actually enjoyed one while we were up at the booth. You would think that that would be a little bit of extra money that's going to be coming into the city in the form of tax revenue.
That's true.
So it should make Leffingwell, and I'm looking over here at Leffingwell, that you would want to go ahead and support this, to go ahead and help out a community that wants to celebrate the 4th of July.
You would think
God damn it, I should run for mayor.
Yeah.
I should move back into Austin.
Well, let
That
me
sucks.
also state this because I think it's only right to have all the facts be put out on the table. Austin Energy did provide a $10,000 grant to use Fiesta Gardens for the festival. The parade thing, it just threw us off guard because we didn't know that the city was going to come up with a we're organized kind of approach, you know, and they have all departments there together. So, you know, while it's not the city council, it's Austin Energy out of their marketing funds. Okay, I just want to put that out there. Now, the council, that's a totally different story, and your assessments and your comments are right in line.
Yeah,
Because,
so that we have had a lot of help.
yeah, oh yeah.
But the parade is throwing people off because it's growing.
And you would think that, like you mentioned, you know, they'd be up in arms to see people, especially in minority communities, wanting to illustrate their patriotism, I guess, in going, being part of a parade, you know.
That particular neighborhood has growing property values.
Oh,
So it's not going to be a minority
no.
community for long.
Nope.
Gentrification, I think, is driving property values high, increased tax revenues. It looks like they would be interested in seeing that as a vibrant community where people want to move.
And everything, like the parade and everything that we're doing, and Austin Energy help paying for the rental of the facility, is all part of that whole mitigation issue, you know, for
Holly Street,
being there for 30, 35 years, okay? So,
you know, we disagree on that one.
well, we disagree whether we should have opened or stayed closed, but even
That was
even
a fine source of power.
even the private companies, oil companies, when they do damage, they mitigate. See, so in this, this is a far cry from what it did to people out there health-wise. So this is a penny drop in the bucket that we're asking support for.
Well, they could have, for the money they paid, they could have just bought everybody out around. We're going off the Holly Street Power Plant. All I know, it was an excellent, efficient power plant, and now in our times we can use that power plant.
Well, there were couple of things. One, it had reached its 25-year limit. So the city was in a decision: do we rebuild these motors, bring in new motors for another 25, or do we respond to the issues?
The price would have been good anyway.
And because it was already old. You know, we had 3 or 4 fires, and it just the reason was because of the age of the turbines. So that was they were going to either close it or keep it running, one of the two, and they decided to close it. And now we have a more efficient new power plant running out there by it's not Sea Home. What is it over there by Del Valley?
Yeah. I hate to stop it now. Rick Perry, what you telling me? I got the governor.
Well, he signed
texting me here.
he signed the bill, HB 3350. So.
Thank you for that. Oh, he did. That's the one we wanted him to.
Yes, that's the one we wanted him to veto. So he signed it.
Which one is that?
Democrats pushed this. It's an urban land bank thing. It's I think it's a scam artist, a scam way to get,
Well, that's what it is.
especially people, elderly people over here on the east side. When the prices go up and they can't pay their taxes on the land, they say, well, we'll grandfather you in, just sign right here. You won't pay no more taxes at all. Only when you leave, you can live in the house the rest of your life. But when your life ends, it doesn't get.
The house goes back to the state.
Goes to the nonprofit.
Goes to the so-called nonprofit.
So it's kind of like a reverse mortgage, only
There you go.
without extra money.
There you go.
Well, that's messed
You know,
up.
the downside, let's say you only live 4 years and they only pay taxes for you for 4 years. Man, they keep the whole house.
Keep the whole house?
Yeah.
I thought it was for the rest of your life.
No, but what I'm saying is that,
If they sign
they're
today, if they sign today and die tomorrow,
yeah, they keep the
They
whole
keep the
house.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
damn. That's a nonprofit. Is that what they learned in
you
the
need to
lawyer
talk to Fred
schools?
Thompson. That's what you need to talk. You need to talk to former senator.
No, I think that's what you get when you go to them lawyer schools.
Yeah.
Now,
That's what that is.
I'm for affordable housing, but I'm not in support of creating ghettos under affordable housing. You know,
Luckily enough is what a lot of affordable housing laws have done over the years.
True.
I mean, I'm, for those who don't know, I'm originally from New York City,
Oh,
and
no.
New York City. Sorry.
the reason I bring it up is because I don't actually know the way that a lot of the laws on this stuff. I'm not super fluent in how it works around here in Austin. But one of the reasons housing is so messed up in New York City is,
The Democrats run the place.
well, I was going to give a more detailed explanation than that. But no, seriously, what they've done is over the last kind of 50 to 60 years, various do-gooder politicians have come in at various times under various quote-unquote affordable housing initiatives, and they've basically balkanized the city so that there's about 7 billion different sets of competing regulations there that end up driving up prices, making it not worthwhile for property owners to do maintenance on places, and create basically a few really well-off areas and then a bunch of ghettos. And a lot of attempts by government to create new housing subsidies end up creating the very ghettos that they claim they're trying to alleviate. I mean, look at how public housing got started and what that did in the beginning of this country. They wanted to, or not this beginning of the country, but in the 30s and the 60s. They wanted to clear out all the, so-called slums areas.
And they created a bunch of real big ones.
Instead of creating, they basically took a bunch of low-income neighborhoods where there was still a sort of sense of community and where people still at least looked out for each other's kids, and they tore those down and created basically urban warfare zones in the projects. And every time you try to get government more involved in quote-unquote affordable housing, same thing always happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think anytime you get government more and more involved in anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've always suggested affordable housing in infill.
Oh, yeah, move it over there, huh?
Oh, great! Yeah,
Why not?
because it's
Yeah,
not on the
put
east
some
side of
Section
it's
8
not
over
on the
there.
east side of
Huh?
35.
Yeah, put some Section 8 over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You got good schools. I don't think you'll find any Section 8 over there. Mason Drive, Far West Boulevard.
So, is it okay if I ask Adam a couple of questions?
Go ahead.
Cool. So, tell us about your blog.
Yeah,
love it.
put his,
I love it.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, how did you get started doing it?
I got started doing it. I actually, and who knows, maybe she's even watching right now. Cindy Millette, who used to work with Americans for Prosperity, and is now she works for Teen Mania Ministries.
So nothing from 311.
She had actually been telling me for years,
311.
Adam, you
No,
need to
that
blog.
was
Adam, you need to
Austin Water.
blog. Adam, you need to blog.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't
And
heard
I
from
always thought,
311 yet.
I don't have time. And what actually happened, and ironically enough, yes, the story does involve now Senator Ted Cruz, but
I'll let him back go.
about a year and a half ago, I had kind of my first extended conversation with the now senator, and I wrote this really long email to some friends describing the conversation and how, I thought if we sent this guy to Washington, he could really do something, he could basically do what he's already doing.
Right.
And when I sent that around, all of a sudden the thought just hit me, wait a second, I could have just put that on a blog and sent the link around to my friends, and they would have seen it, but then the whole world could see it as well. And the thought occurred to me the amount of time I spent sending emails on various topics, that if I just put what I wanted to say on a blog and then emailed the link, that I actually did have time to do it. So I started that about a year. The blog originally, I created the URL in September of 2011, but I started working on it regularly in February of last year, and really March, April, and it's just kind of grown, and people seem to like it, and
Yeah.
it seems to get a lot of positive feedback, so I've just kept it going since then.
Very cool. Yeah, because I like the stuff that's on here. I mean, I'll
By the
be able
way,
to see
the
links
URL, it's called, the name of the blog is Cahnmans Musings. My last name's Cahn, C-A-H-N, and the URL is www.acahnnman.blogspot.com.
Yes.
Go on.
I got to say, I just love this. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you got to be from New York. Look, you put Jesus, sex, and the Texas economy.
Those are the three topics I generally tend to cover on the blog.
Especially the latest blog that he has about. And of course, yeah, when you have Pokey, you just wiggle around that way in a chair. He's pretty happy.
Amen.
I like this thing you wrote about the sexual revolution and how.
That's actually not just that's a link with
Oh, yeah,
highlight.
you didn't write it,
Someone
I
else
mean,
wrote that, but yeah,
It was.
the you want me to?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One of my kind of my personal real interests I could get into how in my own personal story, why this, stems out of some experiences in my
This
life.
isn't going to get x-rayed or anything, is it?
No.
Okay.
But stuff. But point of the story is that one of the things that I'm really focused on is the amount of misinformation and just outright lies that are there in our culture about sex. It's really just staggering, and just putting honest information out there. Do people really go for it? The article you're talking about, the Alfred Kinsey one. Alfred Kinsey, for folks who don't know, is people call him the godfather of the modern sexual revolution. Basically, he was this quote researcher at Indiana University in the late 1940s and early 1950s, who came up with a lot of quote unquote data about what people actually do in their sex lives. And this led to, everything that's happened over the last 50 years, it's all based on Kinsey. But Kinsey was a liar. Kinsey used statistics he interviewed a bunch of pedophiles. He interviewed a bunch of people, prisoners. His female data was compiled largely from prostitutes. The man just was a bald-faced liar. And
Sold books, though, huh?
yeah, but he was a liar,
Made a
and
lot of money?
all this he made some, but all this information that he allegedly came up with in the 40s and the 50s is how it permeates all of our discussions about sex nowadays, and it's entirely based on lies. So that's what that top piece on the blog right now is about.
Yeah, well, part of our outreach was in the community that is badly affected by unwed pregnancy. The number one killer of blacks is abortion.
Yeah.
You might have a woman with 2 or 3 kids, got 2 or 3 different babies.
Kinsey,
really.
by the way, Kinsey was big
used to
supporter
never
of
happen.
Planned Parenthood in the 50s.
Was he?
Big time. Yeah. There were all. I'd have to double check all the but yeah, they were all tied in together.
Well, I do know that not just in America or any one race, but it used to be, if you didn't go to college, a young man, 19, 20 years old, got married. A young girl, 17, 18, she's married. And they stay married all their life. If you did go to college, you would be 22, 23, and you'd marry a girl that was usually about 20, 21. And you stayed married all your life. And you had kids, and then you had grandkids, and sometimes you had great-grandkids. And until this revolution, I guess, or whatever you call it, came out, you're right, everything changed. And now you have, in the African-American community alone, it's just a shadow of what it used to be.
No one's gotten a worse deal from the redefining of sexual mores in this country than African Americans. The thing about it is that kind of a licentious lifestyle is can be very, very, very expensive. Proverbs 29:3 says, "He that keepeth company with harlots
Here comes the
spendeth
Jesus
his
part.
substance." So it's very, very expensive. And for people, if you're a rich person, you can get away with having that kind of a licentious lifestyle. But if you don't have a lot of money, real bad things, real expensive, real bad things can happen to you real quick. And no one has gotten a worse deal from the redefining of sexual mores in this country than African American communities.
I'd say none of us did real good by it. Look at the decline in the population. And
You got that, and then you got it affected. You're right. It affected the African American community, and then it kind of trickled down to everything else, to where.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really got a good deal from it.
Yeah,
But I just think that it was kind of worse for
one
them
segment
than
of
it was.
society that got it the worst was,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that's Star Parker and
Yeah.
Uncle Sam's Plantation. They just keep voting. That's why we were there. They just keep voting for the party that I think.
It's going to be. It's going to. And it's unfortunate that they're following a group of individuals or a party that is just basically saying, "Here you go. Don't worry. Go ahead and live free. Do whatever, or live the way you think is going to be appropriate for you, even though it's not." But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and support that habit by giving you free money and giving you free housing, giving you free whatever, and it's just horrible. I mean, that's why I got out of that party, in all honesty, because I told you the story before where I had the opportunity to regress from where I was at a level, at a level of income that I was receiving, to go ahead and receive all the perks and benefits that the government can give me, or change and keep on making more money. And I decided, hey, I'm going to make more money, and that way I can support my daughter.
Good for you.
And it's sometimes it's bad. You got some bad times in there, but if you keep on pushing at it, you get the rewards. At the end, and right now I'm receiving the rewards of all those struggles that I've had.
I mean, people live in.
Is that how you spell your last name, Adam?
Yes.
Yeah.
How come it's up here different?
Because the name on the blog is a nickname.
'Cause he
Cahnman.
is.
Man, okay.
Cahnman. It's a play on my last
Cahn,
name.
yeah, you're never mind.
No, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Not a Bush moment there. No, not a Bush moment. A
Bush
Perry.
moment. That's we have that. We always have that here.
A Perry moment.
It's a weekly occurrence here on the Trailer Park Show.
Yeah,
You know.
probably a good thing. We're getting off into sex and Jesus, and
Uh-oh. Well, let's get back to
we're supposed to be
Parade.
plugging outreach to parade coming out.
let's move our
So-
parade.
How do we get more people to come
Family,
to the?
family event.
Can that be one? None
No
of these,
alcohol.
There's
and
no
it's
alcohol.
Catholic
No
Church,
alcohol.
which is very much pro-life. So maybe,
No alcohol. No smoking.
yeah, we got to show them how
Aw,
to have
man.
fun without
No
drinking and
smoking.
smoking.
So no bong for you.
Plenty
No
of
bong for me.
plenty of homemade Mexican food that will be sold there from people from Mexico, Salvador,
All the good stuff, huh?
all the good stuff, homemade, fresh off the grill.
And we will have a
Music.
parade of one kind or another.
They'll be having music. Yeah, we'll get the parade there. You won't have to go through walk on the sidewalks.
Oh,
That's
good.
the way to do it.
Okay. Well, that was a big concern that was brought up where they didn't think they were going to get the permits to go ahead
Right
and
now,
walk
we
down
don't
the
have
street.
one.
Yeah, right now, actually, we don't
As
have
we're
one.
talking today, right now, we don't have one.
Oh, man.
So it could be it could be a
Could
news
be a
headline.
Lagerfest.
It could be a big headline. Council cancels 4th of July parade.
Yeah, we're all in jail for marching anyway, huh?
Yeah.
Amen.
Probably been a long time since.
I could understand if we were doing this in another country,
So I guess for this part here, obviously the Travis County Republican Party is going to be,
We will have a booth
Yeah,
there.
They
but
will
the-
have an information booth there.
and the Democrat and the Texas or the
And
Travis County
we've
Democrat
invited
Party will
the
also have one there as well.
Democratic
They know
Party.
Just
We
about it,
haven't
so-
heard from it. I'm not going to worry about it.
If they want one, they can go get one. If not,
So be it. But at least,
Yeah.
we're making an attempt to go ahead and,
Oh, yeah.
and produce more outreach
there
so that
should
we
be
can.
more outreach, and we're going to do another fine time. You're going to join us, I presume.
I'll try to be there for part of it.
I have more. There will be more volunteers at this one than there was at the. There's the flyer right there.
And hopefully the Wi-Fi will work a little bit better this time.
Yeah, you want to do another live?
If possible, that'd be cool. We can do that.
It's going to be at that park, so I don't know if
Do
you
you
got
know, you might
Wi-Fi
find
there.
out if they have Wi-Fi out there at Fiesta Gardens.
They do.
Okay.
No, I'm asking him.
Oh,
He
I'll have
might
to check.
find out.
He had to run it off his telephone last time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had some signal issues up there. I mean,
There's,
granted,
yeah, hold on here a minute while we're here. That's the Grand Marshal, one-star general. We talked about him last week. But we also have, you gave me the attorney's name, U.S. Attorney for this district,
Western District, Robert Pittman.
Robert Pittman will be one of our guests. We haven't put that information up yet. But there are some high profile, the fire chief will be there, the sheriff,
The sheriff.
some high-ranking police officers. Chief Hart's gonna be out of town.
Yeah.
is he going to New York again?
I don't know. He's
Applying for a job?
He's in Alaska
California,
now.
California.
He's around
Is
with
he
somebody.
applying for a job over there also, or is he going for the Second Amendment thing?
I'm probably going to go collect his second allotment of $1 million he won.
Probably.
Probably go collect the second.
Can't blame him there. They're
Nope.
supposed to get a parade. You gotta have a.
Go pick up their $500,000.
Yeah, have some fun in Vegas on the way home.
Mm.
We're just joking. Come on now. But there are some high profile. Yeah, it's a 4th of July parade and some high profile type people coming.
bikes, pedestrian, bikes, skateboard. You bring your baby in your baby carriages, the 4th of July. Costumes, we had folks in costumes last year with
Yeah.
Statue of Liberty, and bring your pet, bring your dogs, bring them on a leash for safety reasons.
Oh, I better hurry up.
If you have a horse, bring your horse.
Cool.
You know, everybody.
Well, let's hold on here till next week's show and make sure we've got the. I mean, you know, maybe we can joke about it. We're gonna have a parade anyway, even if we get thrown in jail. But you know, it's one thing to say I'll stand free and we'll go to jail, but when the time comes, maybe we do better do something else.
Well, we're going to have a fire truck in the parade, so that's one vehicle for sure. We have an EMS. The sheriff wants to bring his SWAT team.
I recall.
Okay,
ready.
now when you say they're going to bring the SWAT team out of their car, is it going to be for display or for use?
display,
For
not for
display.
use.
Okay, just want to make sure. That way I can make sure I'm innocent. You know, I can wear a T-shirt that says I'm innocent. You know, not a target. You know what?
Stop the NSA.
All right.
We'll have a short ceremony once the parade arrives at Fiesta Gardens. We
Inside the
have
building there?
the fire chief will be speaking. The U.S. attorney will be throwing a shout out.
That's pretty. That's the U.S.
Sheriff?
for the whole district here.
The sheriff has been a great help for our parade as well, and I need to mention that.
It was great last year to see him,
And
man.
he's been real active in promoting it this year as well. And then we have Commissioner Gomez. We may have one council member show up. I don't know who it
I'm
is
sure
right
we
now.
will.
You know, because we have a City of Austin proclamation in the works.
Can I list off just some of the people?
Sure. The
APD
booth.
recruiting, APD child fingerprinting, bike trails, about
Here's your finger.
bike trails, about information about bike trails. Austin Fire Department, twice. Oh yeah, we discussed that the other day. I forgot what it was. It's two segments of the Austin Fire
Yeah,
Department.
one is recruiting, and the other one is they have like a little
Just to give out the fire alarms.
something, yeah, something like
Fire,
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. The one for kids and all.
that.
The Travis County Sheriff, Emancipate Animal Services, EMS, Travis County Republican Party, voter registration, thank you, Aunt Sid. Team Red, White, and Blue for veterans, S&T Durham Insurance, Texas Gas, a whole bunch of others I know. Now we know that
Water
Austin
and
Water will
wastewater.
be there.
Austin Energy will also be out
Austin Energy, yeah, of course, they're sponsoring a lot of
there.
this.
Austin Energy will also be out there. Who else? There was another one. There's a couple of other
This
organizations.
isn't a complete list.
No, this is only the list for those that will have a table in tent that's
okay.
being provided by Austin Energy. Now the other ones like 311 and Water,
their own?
they bring their own. APD recruiting, they have their own little tent. So, but these are the information booths that will be out there. That will be giving out
There'll
information.
be lots of fun.
Austin Energy may be giving out bulbs. You know, they give out some goodies.
It won't be quite as grueling a pearl pokey as
Yeah.
left. I sucked almost a whole bottle of air out there.
and here's the important message that we need to give out to our fellow Republicans that are saying that they want to help out or want to reach out to the minority groups and to the individuals that we want to bring over to. Yeah, show up. Come to the event. There's nothing wrong with we had a great time.
Yeah.
You know, we had a great time there. We were talking. You know, had a conversation. We were having a conversation. We had a live recording. It was a great time where we were talking about everything that was going on. You know, and we were fair.
County tax collector.
We were fair with everybody that was there. You know, regardless of the political affiliation or anything like that. We were there, and we were courteous with everybody. And that was the main mission, or the main goal, is to say, hey, look, yeah, you may not like us. You may not like our political affiliation, but the reality of the situation is that we all agree on one thing, or on several things, and if you listen to what we have to say, you might like it, and it may change you. But for all the individuals that want to profess that we want to make some change, show up, come and join us, have fun over there, get some great food.
Tacos, tamales,
The tax money, the taxes will go back to the city,
turkey,
and turkey eggs, and hey. You know,
barbecue.
And if they have, they have menudo. Hey, I'm there. I'm gonna go.
Menudo.
Sure, there'll be menudo there.
They
I'm
have
gonna-
fruit cups.
Corn in a cup.
corn on the cob.
Yeah, it was pretty good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I predict go Spurs. They'll win it in the next game.
Think so. Well, we got what about 3 minutes left. So
The other important thing is when you show up, the important thing was to walk amongst the people, not just sit at the
to
table.
work the crowd,
Mingle,
Right.
Not
jingle.
just work the crowd, it's not working the crowd.
Okay, what do you call it?
Interact.
mingle with the people.
Mingle with the people.
Yeah.
Big old-
Yeah.
But you have to have a big old shirt that says Republicans.
Mine did.
Yeah, you just wear a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I had a little Republican thing.
We were joking because at the parade there were the black
That's pretty funny.
Democrats. And there were 2 blacks and about 18
Everybody else
Anglos.
is
What happened here?
Well, they could have been.
Well,
they
isn't
could have
that
been.
just kind of
would've-
isn't that just a metaphor for their entire party? Do you guys know who Anita Moncrief is?
We got 2-3 minutes, so hurry up.
Okay, Anita Moncrief was the whistleblower about 4 or 5 years ago
Okay.
when some of the scandals broke up. She's a decent enough friend of mine. We're not super close. But one thing that she always loves to talk about with Acorn is that they would recruit kind of 4 or 5 African Americans as the folks that they would put in front of the cameras, but
Yeah.
that the actual organization itself was entirely run by white liberals. By the way, if folks want to research one name related to that, Wade Rathke.
10-4.
Rathke.
All right, so we do have. We'll be back next week with more of this.
And we'll know whether we have a parade permit or not.
Yeah. So you better tune in for that part.
For sure.
Whether we do or not, there'll be something going
Stay
on.
tuned for next week. We'll
Yeah.
know whether we have a parade permit or not.
Oh, jeez.
We didn't get to show enough of our pictures, but
No, I thought. Well, we
go
got
to
to.
go to the website. Yeah, I guess go to our Facebook or whatever. You'll see them on there.
Very
It
cool.
was great to be there. I appreciate everybody that showed up.
Oh yeah,
Really
definitely.
owe it to Rosemary Edwards and Mike Dominguez for making it all.
Yes, thank you for the Travis County Republican Party for allowing us to be there. And,
Rosemary and Mike.
yeah, for allowing us to be there and allowing us to talk to the individuals out there.
Yeah,
And you
Lee Dawson was a big help.
Yes, Lee Dawson was fabulous in being able to upgrade
Take it out.
what we had.
10 o'clock, 10:50. We're supposed to be there.
While they're talking about the assignment over here, we got to thank Lee Dawson for the help that he gave us. Real quick on this part, we were able to get additional services for the stuff that we needed, such as the electricity, so that we can go ahead and do the show and be able to record the program that we did, which is Latin Style Radio, and be able to have that fine conversation. And we may be able to do a couple of different shows over there. For this, yes. If everything goes well with connectivity or with the Wi-Fi, we may be able to do a couple more things. So,
Okay, well, we got 20 seconds. Say goodbye, Adam. Check out
Goodbye,
his
Adam.
stuff. And yeah, we'll be back next week. There are other shows on right here at Channel Austin, and get out there and get involved. 10 seconds, go, Gabriel.
hey, thank you for spending time with us, and we will see you guys next week.
10-4. Y'all be careful out there. Bye-bye.
Bam.